Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council employee arrested charges of rape and molestation of teenage girl. Illegal cutting of trees continue unabated on massive scale in Karbi Anglong Meghalaya border areas. Social distancing guidelines disregarded by public in Silonija. Hello and welcome to Karbi Anglong Live. I'm Jilly Hansepi with the latest news for today. And now the news in details. One person identified as an employee of the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council Secretariat has been arrested by the Dipu police on Thursday after an FIR was lodged against him, accusing him of rape and molestation of a teenage girl living at his house. The accused, identified as Tarasing Rongpi, is serving as UDA at the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council Secretariat. The police arrested him after the victim's parents lodged an FIR against him. Case number 131/2020 under Section 376 IPC R/W, Section 6 of Protection of Children from Sexual Offences or POCSO Act has been registered against the accused and the police have started investigation.
লগতে আছে বাৰু আমি হুটপুছ কৰি আছো আৰু ৰেড কেছ ৰেজিষ্টাৰ কৰা আছে আৰু পক্সো ৰিভিউ সেকশন পক্সো আছে 6 পক্সো এ কৰা আছে আৰু এইটো এটা বৰ্তমান আমি মানুহজনক আনিছো ইয়াত হুটপুছ কৰি যদি সঁচাকৈ যদি দেখে ইনভলভ আছে তেনেহ'লে আমি তাত এৰেষ্ট কৰি ফৰৱাৰ্ড কৰিম।
The victim's father told that his 14-year-old daughter used to stay in the house of Tarasing with the purpose of studying in the schools at Dipu. She had stayed in the house for only 1 year, but she told her parents that she had been raped many times.
Ahok mau hemak ke lagani liga puma lo masih nang itu si hai hui nang ram nang po rada tumpan lagi sini dia bangga te thantap pada kali lo te non la si nang itu bangta an pe nilphan mate ahok alam si nilinai than lo osu manai than dak lo osu bangta ningkan le ong dum kali la ningkan krip free baksi dola la si ra tum da la hai ga ning dum ning la.
The team of Guideline Dipu is also putting all efforts to make the accused person get stern punishment as per the law of the land. Meanwhile, rising crime against minors in the district and the second incident reported this week has raised serious concerns among the people. All eyes are now on the police and judiciary for justice towards the victims and their family.
আমাৰ কাউন্সিলৰ সেক্ৰেটাৰীয়েটৰ পিছত ব্ৰাঞ্চত আমি যিমানটো গম পাইছোঁ আৰু এতিয়া পুলিচৰ আয়োজনে ইনভেষ্টিগেশ্যন কৰিব কাৰণ আমি খালি কমপ্লেইনাৰৰ পৰা
Roshan Hanses report from Dipu, Karbi Anglong Live. Despite several news coverage and appeal from public, the Forest Department is still unable to put a stop on the illegal felling and supply of timber from the forest in Karbi Anglong to Meghalaya border. Owing to this, the smugglers have the forest filled with the fallen barks. The trees from once thick and dense pine forests of Umjakini are now declining rapidly on a massive scale, as forest smugglers are active, taking the advantage of the passive mode of the forest officials and the police. The area falls under Umjakini Habang Forest Range of Hamran Divisional Forest Office. Locals have informed that even after informing the range officer Monsing Tiso, no steps were taken to prevent the smuggling of trees. As a result, smugglers come with truck and take away the logs unrestricted.
Ranger to ahana etialoike spot amar local forest ahana belek forest gom paise eneka hoise buli belek jogatu.
Local people stated that the forest officials have remained so passive that they could not protect the trees close to their office, raising serious questions as to how would they protect. Because according to the locals, the forest officials have never been seen in the area. The VDP personnel have been doing their best to protect the trees, but they are too weak before the smugglers. They have said that if few more trucks come for the wood, the entire forest will be wiped off.
ইমানজন আছিলে চাইলক কিন্তু আমি তাত ফোন লগাম বুলি ইয়াতে নেট প্ৰব্লেম আছিলে সিহঁতে বুলি কৈছে বন্দুক আছে তাৰ লগত দুই তিনিটাতো মই দেখিছোঁ মানুহ বহুত আছিলে সেইকাৰণে আমিতো এনেকুৱা বন্দুক আছে যদি তো হাতিয়াৰ আছে আমি আহিব নোৱাৰোঁ আমাৰ বৰ্ডাৰ এনেকৈ আছিলে আৰু ইয়াতে লোকেল ফৰেষ্টটো কি জানি একদিনো অহা নাই ইয়াতে আমাৰ লগতো আগতো তেনেকুৱা 2-3 মাহ 6 মাহ আগতো তেনেকুৱা হৈছিলে আমাৰ মিটিং হৈছে ফৰেষ্টত বাগান আকৌ একদিন সোমাইলে এইটো শেষে হ'ব আমি ভিডিপি মানুহ মাত্ৰ আমি এনেকুৱা নোৱাৰোঁ ফৰেষ্ট মানুহ আমাৰ ইফালে লোকেল ফৰেষ্ট আছিলে ৰেঞ্জ অফিচ ইয়াতে আছিলে এইটো একো কৰিব নোৱাৰে ডিউটি চিউটি একো নাই নেকি কি হয় সেইকাৰণে আমাৰ অলপ প্ৰব্লেম
These incidents where the VDP personnel have to even surrender are the speaking proof of the inability and weakness of the forest department under Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council. They are neither able to guard the forest within the district nor those on the borders. As such, the 100 of forest guards and officers appointed by the council are serving no purpose. Hemari Rongphar from Ulukonchi, Karbi Anglong Live. Like the pandemic that makes no difference among human beings, the flood that hits Assam every year also makes no distinction between animals and men. Both suffer heavily from it. Thousands of animals from the Kaziranga National Park have moved to the hills of Karbi Anglong, and with several portions of the district's low-lying areas being inundated, animals are finding it hard to survive here as well. On Thursday, villagers of Bagori rescued a deer and handed over to the wildlife staffs. People of Dwarbagori constituency, especially residents of Holiram, Ingling and Sarman Singnar during flood season voluntarily take the responsibility to rescue the helpless animals. Although there is no proper record of their noble acts, but people have said that they have been helping the wild animals whenever they see them in need of it. On Thursday, the local villagers have rescued a sambar deer and handed it to the wildlife department officials. However, people here are living with fear as the wild animals could enter the village and their homes in search of shelter. Following this, villagers have appealed upon the forest department and wildlife department officials to take measures to keep them safe.
Nilitum ladak lang githeng bong stami lang libirta nang ketang rumapot lapen nitum dak bagori long nitum akisung lang ke kang lum chole akisung kali nitum jontu jonawar mate marat marenga pipentan nitum akisung du ajo phirlo nang par nitum aka phiri du lahai kisung du lasi nitum dikhek koi non bagori along non nitum la marat mareng nang ke par vitame nitum ado we rongarat ten nitum net phiro kitab dun kenetun acarab dun lahaya awasai nitum dengkung.
Beat officer of Bagori Subbit under Northern Range Dolamara clearly said that the villagers were very supportive to them and helped them in rescuing the animal. He had denied the rumor that people there always kill the helpless animals that come to their village.
আমাৰো পাঁচজনমান থাকে গোটেই ৰাতিপুৱালৈকে ডিউটি দিয়া হয় গতিকে আমি কাৰ্বি আংলং আৰু আমাৰ মানে কাজিৰঙাৰ ষ্টাফৰ লগত সমিল মিলাই আমি ডিউটি কৰি আছোঁ কিবা এটা যদি আমি বন্য জীৱ জন্তু যদি কাৰ্বি আংলং ফালে যদি ধাৱমান হৈছে পাৰ হৈছে তেতিয়া আমি লগে লগে মানে অৱগত কৰোঁ আৰু মানে আমি নিৰাপত্তা জেগাত যোৱালৈকে আমি বচাবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰি আছোঁ আৰু কৰি থাকিম.
This natural calamity which comes every year puts the mission on human to be kind towards the animals. It makes his role more important and significant as the most superior of all God's creation, and people of Bagori are showing the example of this. Arjison Rongphar from Dolomara, Karbi Anglong Live. Stay with us for more news after this break. MS Pangjo Stationery Humri Damra Langdamikha Labang Sua Kuladalo Nanglitum Kerang Sora Hormuan Long Iji Lake Asonason Kecho Hormu Nangli Hemarlo Kapang Jangjia Pon Kenang Sora Hormu Lapen Kapre Kason Nanglitum Lopon Iji
Humri damlote nanglitum thek ilongji. Lasi humri damitha phangcho stationery. Ka humri dam nang jadim lake Rongthilan Dipu Manja Road, Don Bosco Higher Secondary School adung Dipu Karbi Anglong.
Welcome back to Karbi Anglong Live. In news coming from Bokajan, despite a growing concern over the spread of COVID-19 and despite several notifications from the authorities, public were seen blatantly neglecting social distancing and other precautions during a rice distribution program. Social distancing was not maintained during free ration distribution at Silonijan Lamps led by local MEC Mukut Mahanta and his supporters on Thursday. The arrival of the distribution team led to chaos as hundreds of people thronged the distribution site without bothering about the need to maintain discipline. According to sources, the team did not inform the public in advance about the distribution and announcement was made all of a sudden without the consent of local lamps. Most of the people who gathered to receive the ration were not seen wearing masks. It was shocking that elected representatives like MEC Mahanta could hold such event with blatant violation of preventive guidelines at a time when COVID-19 has only entered the peak stage. Many people are of the opinion that the MEC should have made more systematic arrangements for the distribution and cared more about people's health as well. In addition to this incident taken place under a program led by common citizens, they would have already been charged by law. Anand Terang from Bokajan, Karbi Anglong Live. While elephants continue its terror in interior parts of the hill districts of Karbi Anglong by destroying homes, food grains and properties of villagers. In the latest incident, a herd of wild jumbos entered Chunteron village in Chokihola under the Nilip constituency on Friday, in which one house was partially destroyed. According to victim, the incident placed in the wee hours of the morning while the family was still in a deep sleep. Jitan Teron house was partially destroyed by the elephants along with the family food stocks, but fortunately none of the family during the rampage. The forest department has not yet reached the spot of incident at the time of filing this report, while more details are awaited as to how the affected family would be dealing with the situation after their house was damaged. The terror and destruction by wild elephants across the two hill districts of Karbi Anglong have seen a huge rise this year and have become a cause of great concerns among poor villagers. Justin Rongpi from Chokihola, Karbi Anglong Live. In a bizarre incident, herbicide used at the tea garden belonging to one Ajit Jalan has killed off fishes in a fishery pond which were founded by Bachakrang Baptist Church. According to caretaker, all the fishes have been killed as a result of herbicide used inside the tea garden which got into the fishery. The caretaker stated that the matter would be informed to the manager. Further, the caretaker said that this is not the first time. Following this, the caretaker informed that compensation would have to be immediately handed over to the church for the loss. The caretaker has said that by leaving the fishery utterly contaminated, the effect would be seen for a long time.
Nali thekdunlong malasa hud la dawai ke abu.
Nili thekdunlong sita update pen la tum ala dawai ke alang so drum pe ne ki cham hud. La pen la puge nili fishery lo. La pu bangke ni tu mondulia fishery lo. Nili hala sut pudun lo jong si munang tum ok jon bag nep thilot pulote. Nal tum adai chani pusi nili hala sut ki pudun do.
Meanwhile, one worker of the tea garden identified as Samson Inti said that compensation would be given for the loss incurred by the church.
Solama bang nili puji kala lo ate nili mekani ta thlong lo lo pasil nili piniani miniar la pen la muhuri tu mancing ki ko la pen khan ko la bang sa akilok so la man ke than je pha
Nali ta dak sing sai ke claim dun bagadi.
oh kala te man ni ta la bang sa long se sai cho claim dun pen dawai ka bang belek to soidar do ta be ala miniar la pen muhuri tu man than te ra do eta chimi
RG Son Rongphar reporting from Dolamara for Karbi Anglong Live. Well, these were the top news for today. Thanks for being with us and keep watching Karbi Anglong Live.